Listen, coming off the split, disappointing split. I just feel like we left a lot out there. Both games just did. When we go through and watch the film, we just have some breakdowns and a lot on the defensive side of the floor. Just getting caught out of stance, getting caught, just with some lack of awareness in help side, whether it's tagging ball screens or tagging the rim run guy or whatever it might be. We just, from some possessions that are really good with ball pressure to somewhere we just don't really have any. And so it's building that consistency because, both games, there was a lot of moments that I think are correctable moments, but we've just got to continue to do a better job of, having higher expectations of how every possession should be played. And it always falls back on the head coach. And I've got to do a better job of making sure that we're carrying those things over better. But like this time of the year isn't the time to relax defensively. We should be in a connected mode right now, and we're just not there. So it was a lost opportunity because I just felt like even in that second game, we had runs that we made where we got good leads. We had opportunities to build on those leads. We had a terrible stretch in the second half where we missed a lot of zone one finishes. We had like 6 turnovers, and we didn't score a field goal for a long time. And we lose in overtime. So those are disappointing games. Those are games where you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. because you're just trying to figure out how we can't, we got to get better. We've got to get better if we want to make any kind of run here late. But, that's part of this. So, bring on a really good South Dakota team and let's get better this week and let's get prepared and come out and try to be better. And that's kind of our goals. That was kind of a long one. I could have went on and on and on. I'm going to stop there for questions.
For South Dakota, from the first meeting to this meeting, is maybe the biggest difference just the way A.J. White is playing and maybe more comfortable, and it really kind of starts there because that allows Amude to be more free probably, and that's maybe the biggest step from when you saw him last in December, do you think?
It's one of them. A.J. was averaging close to 16 points a game. Now I'd say, and AJ would probably say it first, he didn't play his best against us, and sometimes that's on the player, and sometimes that's on the defense, and it's hard to know what. But like he didn't have his, but boy, he's an awfully good player. I've watched him play through high school into his year at Augustana, and we know what kind of player he is. I also think it's their big fella. It's Kamateros inside, it's the Zizik kid. I can't probably say his name right. Those two guys are playing a lot better. Kamateros hadn't had a field goal, I think, in his first 3 games when we played him, and now he's close to 10 points a game, at least maybe through league play. And that's a great addition for them, just playing hard. He's playing physical. He does his job really well. And they've kind of zeroed it down to their 7 or 8 guys, and Mason Archambault is playing pretty well and filling his role off the bench. Just guys like that maybe we're searching a little bit for the role early, and now they're just really, really playing well. So it's those guys to me have really helped, AJ, and they've really helped Stanley, kind of establish. And they're doing a great job of scoring, and they're doing a great job of finding those guys when defense takes them away. So it's a combination of a lot of things, and there's no question it kind of starts and stops with AJ because the ball's in his hands a lot. But they're just a really connected team on defense. They're connected on offense, and they're just really playing at a great level of play. So we gotta come out ready to be our best.
Kind of hit on what I was going towards is basically the progression that South Dakota's made here this year from when you saw them in Sioux Falls. They've been the surprise of the league. I think a lot of people thought North Dakota State and South Dakota State were going to be the front runners. Has their progression surprised you, or what do you make of the year they're putting together?
Well, I think when we played them early on, to where they were when we played them the first time to where they are now. I think they've made some great strides. Is it surprising? It's hard to know. I think it's a very good league, and when you're winning some of the road games they're winning, and defending their home court the way they are, with a lot of new guys as well. Now the core of their guys with the exception of maybe Fuller, are returning guys that have been in their program. But like they're guys that are newer, like Fuller, like Mason Archambault, I think are really doing a great job of kind of fulfilling those roles. Like they've just managed to really lock in their identity as a team, I think, really quick, getting into conference play, and they've really embraced that role. They're doing a great job in the defensive set. Their defensive statistics are really strong, and I think they're feeding off that offensively. But AJ Plitzwhite and Stanley Moody are both first-team all-league type guys, and they're playing at that level. And when they're playing at that level, that makes them an awfully dangerous team. So surprised, not surprised, I don't know. I just know what I'm seeing now is a team that's a lot different than when we saw them the first time.
And Coach, in regards to just heading into the last couple of weeks of the season, you mentioned in your opening remarks about just handling and controlling what you can control in the course of a game, and certainly the way it was being called, whether you get a call or you don't get a call. Can you still make strides in that area here these last few weeks of the season, these last few games in that area, or are you what you are?
No, I'd like to think so. We got to, and we talk to our guys about that, whether it's through practice when things don't go your way in practice, or whether it's in games. And there's got to be a different level, a better level of maturity of handling adversity. And there's the connectivity that comes with that within your team, because when you're worried about things you can't control, you're kind of taken away from being connected with your teammates. And so, that's something, excuse me, that's something that we've got to get better at. And those are things we can control and improve. And we've got 4 regular season games left to get better at that. And, you don't want to be a team that can get knocked off kind of how you're playing based on some calls that aren't necessarily bad calls. They're just not, it's just not going our way. So, like, I watched the game film from over the weekend, from both games, and, it wasn't bad calls that hurt us. The officiating was just fine. We've got to handle those things better, and keep locked into improving and being more consistent from possession to possession, because it impacted us. There's no question it impacted us in Denver.